Okay, good day, class. So, this is a recorded session, part of your coverage for the first exam. So, by the time you have seen this is already posted sa LMS through its link and sa aking YouTube channel. So, let's recap some of the topics we have discussed sa previous session. So, previously, we have defined falsification. Yan. So, falsification is a different term from forgery. So, in falsification or falsifying a document, it pertains to making a document appear that it is genuine or true, which in fact hindi naman siya totoo. Yan. So, napakaraming kinds of or yung classifications of falsification. The difference is part of falsification is forgery or excuse me, forgery is imitating something. Yan. When we say alteration, again, the act of changing something into a different form. Pwede meron kang dinagdag, binawasan, or something that you change or altered. Okay, so na there are various reasons from committing falsification. Pinaka-common po is itong monetary gain. Yan. So, it's basically about money eh. Commonly sa deeds of sale or even sa inheritance. Yan. Or even yung pamimeke ng bank checks. Yan. Some others, tumatalbog or bouncing checks. Okay? So, also we have discussed previously yung mga examinations na kinokonduct ng isang QD document examiner. Yan, handwriting examination, including graphology, imprint examination, yung mga prints na nakakalap sa isang document. Yan, those retrievable imprints, writing media examination, not just of the writing material or yung writing media itself, but also included din yung liquids or yung ink na ginamit and its sources or yung history niyon. Carbon dating or dating examination, not your common dating. Pinaka-common yan is yung carbon dating, especially sa mga papers. Okay? Also included, of course, determining whether a document is falsified or altered. Also, yung mga non-visible na mga materials, yan, deciphering those and examining those. Yung mga obscured writings or those used with invisible writing mediums. Also included sa na-discuss natin previously are other laboratory works na ginagawa ng QD examiner. And of course, court duties as an expert witness. Yan. An expert witness is only limited to his scientific knowledge or yung knowledge niya of the process he did during laboratory examinations. Yan. Basically, yung technical knowledge and yung technical definitions. Hanggang dun lang yung kanyang pwedeng i-testify sa court in relation to a certain crime or a certain case. Okay? So, also, sa previous session na discuss din natin, yan, the difference between a questioned and a disputed document. So again, a questioned document, may issues raised towards that document. Yan. issues has been raised. Yan. Disputed document, ang kaibahan lang niya is that there are two parties having an argument or a controversy towards a certain document. Yan. One party has a different claim towards a different party. That is a disputed document. Yan. Sa question document, pwede isang party lang yan ang nagko-question. Okay? So, yan yun. So, classes of question documents, kasali dyan yung holograph document. Ang definition nito is that it is a document which is made or done by the writer himself without the aid or help of anyone, including even yung lawyer. Kanang walay nitabang and voluntary na ginawa nung writer. That is a holograph document. Okay? So also, we have previously discussed about the classes of disputed document, yung types of forgery, the three general types. Yan. Simple forgery, walang attempt na gumawa ng copy, but basically, yung taong nag-forge ng document uses a signature that is hindi naman genuine, pero yung hindi niya kinokopya yung signature ng isang tao. Yan. When we say traced forgery, of course, traced, tinrace niya yung signature ng isang individual. Yan. And then, he transferred the trace signature towards a document na i-falsify. Yan. So, it closely resembles the genuine standard. Okay? Next is itong simulated or copied forgery. It resembles the genuine signature like traced forgery, but written free-handed. Walang codings compared sa traced. Yung freehand niyang kinopya yung document or yung signature. Yan. Okay? So, that is a simulated or copied forgery. Also, we have discussed about the categories of a document. Yan. General, limited, and restricted documents. So, when we say general documents, ang key term ninyo is general. Lahat ng tao may access. Yung publicly pwedeng makita or magamit. Yan. Under full circulation. That is another key term. Yan. Such as studies, mga research studies, yan, and others. So, they are part of it. Okay? Sunod, limited documents. Those na hindi naman siya nasa wide circulation. But basically, dahil sa temporary nature ng document na yon, just like drafts, other resolutions, or yung mga reports, temporary lang siyang available. Okay? Next, restricted documents, those which applies exclusively to documents na yung content nila are so sensitive and confidential that they are not for public usage. Yung mga nasa classification ng restricted documents, those documents na ang pwede lang makakita or makahawak are those people who has the need to know. Okay? So those are the three categories of documents. The kinds of documents according sa Philippine laws, this is basically sa civil, mercantile law, I mean. Okay? First is public documents. So it is any instrument na notaryo by a notary public or a competent public official. Yan. And other documents na merong solemnity of law. For example, affidavits. Yan. 'Di ba? Pinipirmahan nung gumawa ng affidavit, and of course, it is solemnified. 'Di ba? Before an affidavit is done, o yung sworn statement, 'di ba may sumpa pa yan? Manunumpa pa. The same goes with those documents na may pirma ng mismong head of office. Okay? So, those are public documents. Yan yung basically governmental function. Okay? Next. When we say official documents, these are documents issued ng gobyerno or any of its employees, agents, or officials na dahil sa kanilang otoridad, pwede nilang i-create yung document na yun and are authorized to issue. An example of this, official documents, yan, is yung pag-authorize ng, yung sa civil service, yan, yung pagiging civil service professional. Okay? Also included, some other police reports. Okay? So, included sila dyan. Next is commercial document. Again, it is done within the commercial businesses. Yan. For commercial purposes. Resibo. 'Di ba? Balance statements or balance sheets. Yan. When it comes to auditing and accounting. Yan. Yung mga nasa business sector. Okay? And then private document. These are documents done privately, executed by a private person, and walang intervention ng isang abogado o yung notary public. Okay? Basically, ang mga private documents, they pertain to an agreement. Okay? So, it is needed there. Okay, so five subject matters na tinataka sa QD examination. Signature identification, whether it is forged or not. Yan. Signature identification, knowing the genuineness of that signature of a certain document. Handwriting identification. Yan. Included yung graphology, knowing the behavior of the writer through his handwriting, or yung pag-determine ng tremors. Yan, ito ng pagkurog-kurog na maraming sources of tremors that is being identified sa handwriting examination. Yan. Ano ang font na ginagamit ng isang individual when he handwrites something? O yung pagsusulat niya. Yan. Is he writing in cursive? Block ba? Or yung script? Yan. Paano siya nagsusulat ng mga letters and numbers? Okay? That is handwriting identification. How about those typewritten or computerized documents? For example, yung mga typewritten documents noon, yan. There is a susceptibility na merong sinisingit na mga letters or words in between words or letters. Yan. Could change the definition of that document. Sa computerized documents naman, uniqueness ng document. For example, resibo sa point of sales, di ba yung mga cashiers sa supermarkets? Yung tinatawag na system na pag-check nila ng mga bilihin, yan yung POS, computerized na point of sales. Okay? So, di ba may ini-issue'ng resibo? Yan. there are certain crimes in which yung mga perpetrator siguro bumili pa sa convenience store. Of course, may resibo. It could be an evidence or a piece of evidence to a certain crime or a different crime. Yan. So, sa QD examination, tinatry ni examiner na, of course, i-check yung contents ng document if it's still readable. And also, yung klase ng papel, saan nanggaling yung papel, sinong manufacturer ng papel, and of course, yung color and yung mga characteristics ng ink na ginamit. 'Di ba? Okay. Also, alterations. Yan. For every document, whether it's bank checks, birth certificates, deed of sales, or the signature, yan. Whether they are done by the perpetrators or the perpetrators have intimidated a certain individual to commit alterations or any other changes. Yan, interlineations, obliterations, substitutions, and other terms. Yan. We will discuss that further. And of course, counterfeiting yan. Pamimeke ng pera. So, that's one that is being tackled or one of those five na mga subject matters na tinatakil sa QD examination. Okay, let's proceed to the classes of QD exams. First, criminalistics examination. Yan. In order to detect the genuineness of a certain signature or if there are erasures or changes sa document, criminalistics examination, yan. Oblique light, UV light, yan. Yan, mga light examinations. Part yan ng criminalistics examination. Sunod, handwriting identification. So, it tries to determine the authorship ng isang document to determine the identity ng writer. Yan, through his signature, yan, or yung pag-trace ng dating, or yung dating, carbon dating, when was the document executed, who owns the document, and how long is the document. Yan, through the handwriting, of course. And of course, sa graphology included dyan, paano ba sinulat yung isang letter o isang phrase, and ano ba ang kanyang possible behavior, paano ba niya sinulat ang A, or paano niya sinulat yung numbers. Yan, handwriting identification. Okay, so again, classes of QD examinations. Yan, general classes to ha. First, criminalistic examination, trying to decipher the changes in a document, kung mayroong substitutions, whether it is forged or not, by the use of certain methods, certain equipment, and certain chemicals. Handwriting identification basically is handwriting. The behavior of the writer, the method of writing ng writer. Yan. Paano niya sinusulat ang letters and numbers, pati symbols. And yung direction ng pagsusulat niya. Is it really straight? Yung linya ng stanzas niya? Or may pag-slant yung letters, pati yung mismong stanza na ginagawa niya? Okay? The same goes with the signature. Ang signature niya ba nakatayo lahat or may certain slant? At saan ba yung slant na yun directed? Okay? Also, categories of QD examinations naman tayo. First, prelims. Yan. The preliminary examination is considered the initial examination. Limited findings, yung expert opinion, hindi pa finalized. And all preliminary examinations, yung mga documents dyan, is subjected to a final examination. Okay? So sa final examination, that is the definite or yung finale na mismo. Yan, kung saan yung findings and expert opinion ni examiner na-finalize na for purposes of presenting it in court. Yan. And to determine if yung document ba is absolutely genuine or not. Yan. And of course, to settle mga misunderstandings ng different parties. Yan. So, it can also be directly submitted to court. Yan, in order for it to be marked as an exhibit in a case. Yan, criminal or civil. Okay? It's submitted as a piece of evidence. Okay? And of course, one category is the ex parte examination. Saan ang pasabot sa ex parte? Okay? When we say ex parte na examination, yung examination is conducted by the adverse party after na-examine siya ng isang party. Yan. So, yung ex parte, without the influence and without the, yung parang uh, attendance ng isang party, nag-conduct pa ng isang examination. So, yan yun. The requisites for an ex parte examination is that the adverse party must file a motion for the ex parte examination. Yan. So, he will direct it sa korte, kay judge. Yan. So, this ex parte examination, especially sa civil cases, and of course, sa criminal cases, it's basically a matter of right sa adverse party. Yan. Or yung litigant. Yan. It is done basically para magkaroon ng second opinion yung adverse party. Kasi hindi pwede na isang examination lang. May mga partido in a trial na hindi sila satisfied sa examination na ginawa ng isang party. So they would do a different examination towards the same document with their own party. So yan, para mawala yung pagdududa. Okay, that is being done. Itong ex parte examination. Okay, so yung sa reception ng QD documents, yan, question document examination, could be done by either the respondent or yung nasa prosecution. Okay? So, ang kinakailangan lang man dyan, request sa korte. Pati of course, request din sa mag-examine yung opisina nila. Commonly, the PNP. So, the following are the instruments and mga aparatos na ginagamit sa QD examination. Okay? Of course, magnifying lens, infrared light, yan, oblique light, yan. I will let you have a research for that. Okay? Sunod, photo enlarger, shadow graphs, yan, of course, to determine yung nagka-create ng shadow in order to determine if sa paper ba, meron pang hidden writings na hindi visible. Yan. Even if with magnifying glass, hindi pa rin visible, malay mo, secret writing ang ginamit or method niya secret. So, you need a shadow graph. The same goes with a UV lamp. Yan, kailangan mo yon. Other equipment, yan, photo paper dryer, paper cutter, yan, comparator, yan, thickness ng paper, yan. Because there are other characteristics na nagde-determine sa kind, origin, and age ng isang document, nade-determine through the thickness of the paper. Yung klase ng paper at yung kanang kabaga sa papel. Yan. Of course, you need to record your documents being subjected to an examination. You need camera and lens, especially macro lens. Yung pinapalaki niya yung document, yan. Video spectrum comparator, of course, you still need that. Electrostatic detection apparatus, yung EDA. Yan. Stereoscopic binocular microscope. Yan. I would make you, or I will let you have a research for these equipment and instruments. Yan. And of course, table lamps at microscopes. Yung normal. The normal compound microscope. Okay? So, next, here are the techniques sa QD examination with regards to the various examinations being done sa question document examination. First, microscopic examination. So, it is with the use of either low light or yung low light and low power pati high power na mga ilaw. Yan. The reason is these microscopes could detect if a document on a certain medium, yan, sa isang papel, could determine if it is retouched, yan, sabihin natin yung signature, may dinagdag, especially sa bank checks, meron bang pinatch, yan, or kinonek na bago, yan. For example, yung dapat sana isulat is number 5. Yan. Sabihin natin may 6 figures. Sabihin natin 500,000 yung nasa check. Yan, example lang to. And then, siguro, yung ginawa ni perpetrator, dinagdagan niya, pinatch up niya para magmukhang parang 6. Yan. Naging 600,000. Okay? To determine if there are patches like that or unnatural pen lifts. Okay? Yung nagsusulat ka ng letter or number, but it is not normal for you to lift the pen on a certain stroke sa certain letter or number. Okay? To determine asan doon. Kasi mag-iiba yan depending sa ink level. Okay? Yan. With proper angle and illumination, madedetermine yan perfectly. Yan. But if your eyes are not aided with a microscope, then of course you will not decipher anything significant. Next is transmitted light examination. Documents are subjected to this type of examination to determine the presence of erasures, yan, matching of serrations, and other types of alterations. Okay? So, may ilaw dyan sa ilalim and then ipapatong yung document above the light source. Yan. And then, madedetermine mo through that transmitted light kung yung papel may erasures sa mismong document o yung content nyon or may somehow other writings that could be hidden. Also, meron din tayong oblique light examination. Yan. This includes decipherment of faded handwriting. Siguro dahil masyado ng matanda yung document, some handwritings due to their ink not being long-lasting, hindi na makaklaro yung contents ng document. So, para ma-outline yun, gumagamit ng oblique light. Also included dyan yung mga embossed kanang pareho sa tatak sa kanang seal sa court, 'di ba? Murag naa siya'y kanang embossed na kay ma-feel once gunita nimo tong seal nag-i-imprint sa papel. So it would be determined yan through oblique light examination din. Of course, photogenic examination dili ni para sa mga gwapa but basically used sa lahat ng document examinations being done. Yan, yung actual observation with a normal set of eyes and of course with the use of normal cameras. Yan, with of course enough lighting. Next is UV light examination. So requisites niyan of course you need the UV light kanang violet, dili lavender na color, yung deeper niyan yung violet. And then it is done in a dark room kung saan once you subject a document to it, mas magkakaroon ng warming up sa nakikita mong document so that mas maklaro or mas maging visible yung mga faded writings, siguro dahil sa ink nila, or those other security features. Yan, especially sa money. Ginagamit yan ng mga negosyante and even the government to decipher if a document has other additions or alterations or yung pera ma-determine kung counterfeit or original. Kasi may security features din at sa ating banknotes na hindi visible to the naked eye. Okay? Next, the preparation for court exhibits. Dapat yung mga documents na na-examined and would be presented sa korte, dapat may kaakibat na ibang documents. We call that corroborative evidence that would support the original court exhibit. At dapat alam na alam ng document examiner yung findings. Kasi sa trial, he would still need to use that testimony, yung expert testimony niya by the time na uupo siya sa witness stand. 'Di ba? Uupo ka sa witness stand. Anyway, so the QD examiner, the question document examiner, must know the pieces of evidence na pinesenta niya as exhibits. He must know it like it's the back of his hand. Yan. And of course, yung mga ebidensya na ipepresent niya doon from the document must have also be recorded. Merong mga kaakibat na pictures o photographs. Of course, next, we need to make sure sa question document examination na kung tayo yung examiner, extreme care and proper handling of those documents are the primordial consideration. Hindi dapat sila na the documents must not be recklessly handled and just like any other evidence, 'di ba, yung sa crime scene, meron tayong golden rule na pareho din yun pero dapat na maintain yung integrity ng document the same as it was discovered. Okay? As much as possible, pareho ang itsura niya sa itsura niya nung natagpuan yung document. Okay? So there are different considerations na kinakailangan natin iwasan or sundan when handling a document. Yan. For example, a document should not be cut, torn, or in any manner mutilated or pinutol. Even slight lang. Because it would remove the integrity na yung document na yon hindi siya na-alter or na-change even if subjected to the laboratory examination. Sunod, the document should not be folded. What if folded na siya upon discovery? So, you must not create a new fold. Ayaw na napilo og bago. Yan. Because it might change certain letters on that document. Yung nature ng letters, pati yung ink. And even the paper. What if gumawa ka ng bagong fold, gipilo ni mo bago on a different direction, and then yung document masyadong fragile, eh, yun, na-distort. So, ma-charge na sa imuha. Na, again, that's very important to know that. Also, a document should not be touched with an eraser of any kind or any ball pen. Yan. And of course, hindi mo pwedeng maggalaw yung document with a sharp object na base magisi. Yan. Or if you touch it with a pencil, baka yung pencil na-touch mo sa parte ng letterings ng document. So it might change the course of the document history. It might change other significant factors within that document na hindi pa nalalaman. And of course, the document should not be wet. Yan. So, as we all know, once meron tayong sinulat na papel and then nabasa yung papel, especially with certain chemicals, nagkakaroon ng distortion sa nasabing contents ng document. So, anong mangyayari? Hindi mo ma-view yung contents ng document, which could lead to other leads sa kaso, or which could lead us to the perpetrator and his guilt towards a certain crime. Also, sa handling of documents for QD examination, unless needed sa laboratory examination, no chemicals, not even water, should be made on the document. Yan, whether it is the opposing party or the prosecution, hindi dapat nila ma-allow na yung document mahaluan ng chemical or mabasa unless may special permission from the court or the parties. Okay, next. Lastly, portions of the document that are of particular importance, yun yung pinipreserve. So, it should not be encircled in any manner or walang mga identifying marks na ginawa or nilagay si examiner. The reason for this is that baka sa pag-exhibit ng nasabing document sa korte, magdududa si judge. Titingnan ni judge and then sasabihin niya, bakit may mga underlines ang document? Sino may gawa niyan? Or why is it encircled? Mas delikado pa yan sa expert witness kay examiner na kung tatanungin siya ng korte kung meron ba siyang dinagdag. Baka ang sinabi ni examiner upon, of course, nasa witness stand, you are about to take an oath. Sinabi niya kay judge, Your Honor, wala akong dinagdag. Ayun, ulit, medyo naputol ako doon. Dito sa last na portion, it is very important na upon court presentation, dapat in no any manner na nalagyan ng markings yung document because it might backfire the examiner. For example, nag-take oath siya upon a trial. Sinabi niya kay judge, Your Honor, wala akong nilagay na additional notes or additional markings. But then, upon exhibiting the document, may encircle na different from the ink ng original document. So, makasasite ito contempt si examiner. Could cost him his career. So, dapat walang other markings na ilalagay si examiner sa document before, during, and after the examination, and even upon court presentation. Okay, so those are the primordial considerations na dapat iniisip at isinasaisip ni examiner. Okay, so that sums up part of your coverage for the first exam. So by the time you'll see this, nasa YouTube account ko and na-link ko na sa LMS. So please read the EPUB, yung ebook, because dun, actually that is the book itself. Yan yung binayad nyo. So just read it, and if you have questions, you can put it sa open forum. Okay, yung questions nyo, pwede nyo ilagay sa open forum. Hindi lang ako ang magbibigay ng questions. So once again, thank you for watching and listening. And have a good day to everyone.